Okay, I had to erase like so much of my storage, like literally get rid of everything just to have 18 minutes on my camera, which is crazy. I don't know why it's doing that, but I guess I'll have to upgrade my phone. But I have enough time to finish the chapter, yay, which it's not going to be very long. Okay, let's see. Her eyes were open. This is where Madrone is fighting the disease. She went into the disease itself. Like vibrationally in trance. And this is the part where she's fighting the disease itself. Her eyes were open and someone was looking into them, chafing her hands and calling her name. Okay, we see. No, so I didn't read that part. No, it wasn't the thing. It was, what? Someone. Nope, not that part either. Okay. Let's see. Suddenly, Madrone felt cold as if bone dust already were falling on her skin, leaching away blood and life. Nope, that's not it either. Right here. We'll start here. Madrone reached inside the mouth of the cradle board, which was suddenly alive, a snake's mouth, a birth canal, pulsing and pushing forth something her skillful hands could guide to light. But what she brought forth was not a live child, but a bundle wrapped in red and black cloth. Slowly she unwrapped it. Within was a black obsidian knife. Suddenly Madrone felt cold, as if bone dust already were falling on her skin, leaching away blood and life. Is this what it means then? She thought. Death. I'm going to put the camera right here. Oy. She reached for the knife, and it changed in her hand to something familiar, a surgical knife, like the one she used after a birth to cut the cord. To cut the cord was to complete the birth. And to give birth was dar alus, which was meant to give to light. And death itself was cutting of the cord too, and a giving to light, perhaps a greater light. She longed for the light, to fall into it, swirling down into the depth beyond blue, swirling down into depth, beyond depth, into deep, deep stillness where there was nothing but peace. From her own navel a cord twined, a pulsing twined spiral of red and blue, so dark it was almost black, a chain that held her, and the knife could free her. In a moment she would cut the cord and be free. In just a moment, as soon as she remembered something. What? She had been in the middle of something. There was something she needed to think about. But what? Somewhere back where she had a body, she felt, as from a great distance, a touch. She heard a whisper. Her name. Madrone. Why? She wanted to be with Sandy, all the rest of them, Rachel, Johanna, Rio, with Bird. She hadn't wanted to die at the hands of the monster, but really, she didn't mind dying at all when La Serpentine offered her peace. Death would be so restful. The monster, the thing, that was what she had to think about. No, it wasn't the thing. It was, what? Someone. The child in her lap and the child on the next bed. The woman in the next room, the old man in pain. What did she owe them? Their very existence seemed suddenly to weigh her down. The cord twisted in her hands. It had become a snake, a pair of snakes, whose heads facing each other fused into the La Vieja, snake woman, Tiamat, Hecate, Kotlikuyu, all with the same challenging pair of eyes, not cold, but implacable. The eyes were strands of gray appearing in her hair, wrinkles on the back of her hands. The eyes were a destination. Her own hands held the cord and the knife. Choice. The crossroads. Madrone's mind moved slowly like a diver underwater, pushing against all the weight of the ocean. She understood, suddenly, that she was not ready to die, and that it wasn't death that was implacable, but the long arm of life, reaching, always reaching, with the offer of choice. The crossroads. Madrone's mind slowly, like a diver underwater, pushing against all the weight of the ocean. She understood, suddenly, that she was not ready to die, and that it wasn't death that was implacable, but the long, already read that, but the long arm reaching, always reaching, with the offer of choice. She would choose the burden of her vision. Lend me your knife, Madrone said, and I will be your instrument. Her eyes were open and someone was looking into them, chafing her hands and calling her name. She blinked and took a breath. Madrone, the voice said. It's Aviva. Madrone, can you hear me? Do you know who I am? Madrone nodded. The motion made her nauseated. I'm okay. Thank God. The child on Madrone's lap was sleeping peacefully. She sifted her gently onto the floor. Every moment made her stomach churn. Up, she gasped to Aviva, who helped her rise. Then she dashed to the bathroom and vomited. She crouched in the bathroom, shaking. Slowly, she grounded herself, called up earth fire to heal the wounds that didn't show because they were not in her physical body, wounds of the spirit. She was so tired, but in her palms a fire burned, a power demanding to be used. Gripping the edge of the sink, she pulled herself up to her feet. Her legs were shaking. She had to steady herself with one hand while she splashed water on her face with the other. Breathe. Ground. She was alive, and that was her first victory. She had won through to this power, and that was another, even while her body screamed out at her for rest. Another breath, and she could balance on her feet. Another, and yes, she could walk, unaided, back out to the ward. What happened? Aviva was waiting, sponging a sick child. I thought we'd lost you too for a moment. It's okay, Madrone said, but it was hard to talk because she was still mostly in the spiderweb world of shifting lines of destiny. Her hands were on fire. She could see the child Aviva tended, and when the fire of her hands touched the child's throat, something shifted, something fled. Yes, that was the way, and it was so easy now, except that she wanted so much to sleep. But they would die then while she slept, and if she could just breathe and take another step into another bedside and lay serpent fire on another destiny and another. If she could just forget sleep and rest and food and time, easy to do here in the timeless center, and let this moment of healing become her dwelling place. 5 hours later, she collapsed. Emily, say hi to our audience.
Hi.